Hello there, welcome to my spot here on the grief and the loss. Today I want to talk about the fear and the anxiety. I was really surprised how much fear and anxiety I had once my partner died. It was really strong, and I didn't realise it was to do with the grief. I just was anxious and fearful about everything. I know that it was because now I wasn't in a relationship, but I think you also have that with the loss of a son or daughter and or family member or friend. It seems to come up. It seems to be something that's a pattern in the grief part. And I just want you to have a look at it and understand that you're not losing your mind and you're not becoming a weak person. I just think there's a lot of anxiety that comes with grief and the fear of the future. How you're going to cope, how will you live without this other person, how are you going to just get through all the anniversaries and the birthdays, how are you going to handle it basically. There's so much fear and so much grief, and I think you really need to be looking at that seriously, because it's actually going to be quite a problem for you if you don't actually acknowledge it. I didn't acknowledge it initially, but then after a while, after about a few months, I started to realise that I never felt this anxious before, and I never had this much fear, and I'd noticed it in just doing everyday things. I was much more lacking confidence and being a bit frightened to do this or do that. If I had to go to social events, I wasn't my bouncy self. I was nervous before I got there. I didn't feel that comfortable. If I had to go out shopping on my own or was near one of the anniversary days and I had to go and do something on that day, I felt anxious about doing it, like how will I cope? And I think that's also the anxiety and the fear, because it's how am I going to cope? Like, will I cry? Like, am I going to like make an idiot of myself and start crying at the wedding or crying at the coffee shop? Because these things just sort of come out of you. You can't do anything about it. Once the tears start, it's very difficult to push them back. Try just to be really kind to yourself. Know you're probably having a lot more anxiety and you have a lot more fear around things. And it's got a lot to do with the fact that grief is so overwhelming and completely swamps you that you can't control it. It's an out of control place to be. That's what I felt. I could never know what I was going to be like from day to day. One day I'd be fine on the phone and the other day I'd be not fine on the phone. One time I'll be going out and I was okay, and another time I'll be going out and not wanting to get out the car. These are really normal things, and this is a sign of your anxiety. You can start to address it by doing some different things, like you might meditate more, you might go for more walks to calm yourself down. It's good to play good music and you can burn some oils. If it gets that you need sort of more help, you can use some of the natural things for anxiety and Bach flower remedies and things like this, or you just can also go to the doctor and you can get help because they have medication to get you through some of these difficult times in our life, and you might need to do that for a while just to get yourself over the hump. The anxiety is very strong. I found it really, really strong, and it was a little bit of an unnatural feeling for me. I'd never had anxiety like that before, and sometimes I'll still get it. I'll wake up in the night and I'll be anxious and fearful, and I know that's just the grief knocking at the door in the dark hours when the demons come out. And I think you just need to understand it's normal, and it will pass, and it becomes less and less, and you become less nervy around everything. Lose someone, I think it like really hits you, and I think it really disturbs your natural body flow, your eating, your sleeping, your mood, and I think it has a direct effect on your heart, your literal heart, and your nervous system. That's what I feel it does to you, and the nervous system can be really messed up from grief, and that's if your nerves are bad, then you'll have more anxiety. My heart really goes out to you if you're listening to this and you have anxiety and you have fear. But I just want you to know that it will get better. It will eventually go away, and you'll be able to cope better than you are coping now. It's just part of the process. And I think we kind of expect that with the grief we're going to be crying a lot and we'll be angry that, we've been left alone, blah, blah. But I don't think we ever think we're going to be anxious and fearful. I don't think people really talk about that one. And I found it was very strong And I've spoken to other friends of mine who've lost someone that they love, and they also said they had a lot of anxiety and a lot of fear as well, which they felt was connected to the grief process. It kind of shakes you, when they die, even if you know they're going, it's when they actually are not here anymore, it kind of shakes you, and that's that shaky, nervy feeling that you will have. And you won't be all of yourself for a while, but you will come back to more of yourself in time. Do what is necessary to help you. That's what I'm trying to suggest to you, that it is part of it. And I found it was quite a difficult part of the grief process. However, I try to use lots of things. I use teas and herbal medications and meditation and all the things that work for me. And I use emotional freedom tapping. I find that helps me. So you just got to find what the thing is or things are that help you, and then use them while you're going through the process, because it'll just make it easier for you. And it might be really good also to go to a counsellor or a therapist, and you can talk about how you feel frightened and how now you have all this anxiety about what life's going to be like. Because if this person's been in our life for a long time, perhaps we've been with them a long time as a partner, or they're a family member or long-term friend, we're so used to them always being there that it's a bit of a shock when they're not there. And they maybe gave us a lot of support and emotional kind of comfort. And if they're not there anymore, we won't have that as well. That's the other thing, that they maybe were our best friend, or our partner was our best friend, or our mum was our best friend, and we don't have that now. And then our anxiety then can't be quelled as easily because we don't have those people who were there to talk to and who understood and basically made us feel better. So address it, know it's real, know that you're not like losing the plot because you feel like this now, and know that it's part of the grief process and it will lessen. So I'm hoping that things get better for you, I really do. And I'm sending you lots of love and lots of light.